seeing each other.
This call is now being recorded.
Manjunathan sir, please start.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. Myself, Dr. Manjunath. I'm Assistant Professor in the Department of ECC, Veteran College of from Karnataka. Today I'm here for the master ceremony of an inaugural session of 21 days national workshop on recent advances in agriculture, engineering, and technology for doubling of farmer income through online move. It started today. It is going to end on 21st of this month, 2023. This workshop is jointly organized by the Banaras University, Varanasi, and NADCL Baramulla. Today, I'm in a galaxy of a renowned personality with us in inaugural session. Now, first of all, I'll welcome Dr. V.K. Chandra Chandola to deliver a welcome address. The V.K. Chandra sir is a professor in the Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agriculture Science, Banaras University, Varanasi, and is a patron for this workshop. Now I will request Dr. V.K. Chandola sir to deliver a welcome address. Chandola sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Manjunath.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Manjunath. Uh, Before I deliver a welcome address, I would like to tell you that due to some emergent situation, I am leaving for Dehradun today. So I'm on the way to airport. I am calling from there. So I'm sorry for that. So on behalf of the organizers of 21 days national workshop on recent advances in agriculture engineering technology for doubling farmers' income, I take this opportunity to welcome the renowned person in agriculture engineering, the chief guest of today's inaugural program, Professor Pitam Chandraji. He is an eminent agriculture engineer who earned his PhD from Cornell University and MS from University of Manitoba, Canada. He's a BTech from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, with a Vice Chancellor's Gold Medal, and was the first recipient of International Tractor Scholarship for his undergraduate studies in agricultural engineering. Dr. Pitam Chandra has been a teacher, researcher, and a research manager. Dr. Chandra was director of CI Bhopal during 2009 to 14. Before that, he was Assistant Director General, Process Engineering at ICR New Delhi from 2003 to 2009. After superannuation, he took up professorship and at NIFTEM, and at present, he is a professor emeritus at Sada University, Greater Noida. Dr. Pitam Chandra is credited with many achievements. I'm not going to tell all the achievements because it will take another 10 to 15 minutes to tell about all his achievements. Dr. Chandra, I welcome you here in this inaugural function today, and we are really honored that you are here as a chief guest in today's function. We have two more guests of honors. One of both are my friends, Professor D.K. Singh. He's from NDUT Faizabad. He has been associated with ICR. Earlier, he was at CI Bhopal, and then he joined IIBR Varanasi. From there, he went to Modipuram, and now uh, he's at NDUT Faizabad. He's Dean, College of Agriculture, Engineering and Technology, Ambedkar Nagar. I know him for the last 15 years, and we have been associated with him in many research projects and in many research studies of the students. So I welcome Dr. D.K. Singh also here in today's function. I welcome Dr. Amrish Kumarji. I know Dr. Amrish Kumar since he was at Central Soil and Water Conservation Research and Training Institute, Dehradun. We used to send our students to Dehradun, and I know whenever I used to send a request, he promptly used to accept those requests. So, Dr. Amrish Kumarji, I am really thankful to you. At present, he is Dean at Pusa, College of Agriculture and Technology, Pusa, Bihar. So, Dr. Amrish Kumarji, I know you have a lot of achievements. You had been at IIT Kharagpur also for some time. You had been research engineer there, and then he joined assistant professor at GB Pant University of Agriculture Engineering and Technology. He had his BTech from Samastipur, Pusa, and then MTech and PhD from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology. So, Dr. Amrish Kumarji, I welcome you here in today's function as guest of honor. I welcome Dr. Goyalji also. He is my colleague. He is the course coordinator of this course. I welcome him in this inaugural function. I welcome Dr. J.P. Rai also. He is also my colleague from BHU. I welcome him also in this program. I welcome all those who are directly or indirectly connected with this program in today's inaugural function. And I welcome all the participants who have joined this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I welcome on behalf of the BAU and also NADCL to the function. Thank you very much. Now it's a time to say about few words about the workshop. Today we have a course director with us, Dr. S.K. Goyal. He is the Department of from the Farm Engineering, Institute of Agriculture Science, Banaras University. Now I request Dr. S.K. Goyal sir to say a few words about the workshop as a course director. Please, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Manjunath sir. Actually, this is an unexpected program. What I never thought I can organize such type of event. So thank you, sir. This is a 21-day national workshop on recent advances in agricultural engineering and technology for doubling farmers' income. Actually, as we know, this is a dream project of our Honorable Prime Minister, sir, during 2016. From that time, during this last 5 to 9 years, the whole country is doing something different. And we are agriculturists, and especially we are agricultural engineer. So we are also thinking about the doubling farmers' income. So as we know, in olden days, how our farmers are doing the agriculture. That time they are just using indigenous plow, one pair of bullocks, and simple equipments, you can say spades, sickles, kurpi, and other things. But when the mechanization enters in the agriculture sector, then this is known as mechanization of agriculture. Then different types of implements in you can say heavy machineries like tractor, combine harvester, and other different types of equipments are entered in agriculture. And definitely our Indian agriculture has also benefited with these mechanization techniques. But at present time, what is happening due to the different types of situations in our Indian agriculture, this may be like different types of soil, different types of climatic condition, different types of climates. At present time, the world is talking about Industry 4 and that 4.0. And this Industry 4.0 is based on agriculture only, as I think. And if we are talking about the enhancing the farmers' income or doubling the farmers' income, then we have to do something different beyond our imagination, you can say. So if we want to double the income of our farmers, then we have to do something different. That's why the Industry 4 technique, that is known as agriculture-based Industry 4.0 technique, and this is based on AI and IoT based different types of you can say gadgets like agricultural drone. I am working on this agricultural drone in our university, and I found this is a very you can say important machine that will definitely convert the scenario of Indian agriculture. So this is an combined, or you can say joint effort of Banaras University as well as NADCL Jammu. I am thankful to Dr. Aresa and his team to believe on me, and we are doing this adventure jointly. So this is an effort to enhance our farmers' income. If we can make any difference, then this will be a result of this workshop. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, S.K. Goyal, sir. As a course director, you delivered about a few words about the workshop. Now it's time to say a few words about the NADCL. Myself is Dr. Manjunath, the assistant professor from Department of ECC. As you know, NADCL is a National Agriculture Development Cooperative Limited, Baramulla, located in Jammu and Kashmir. This was established under Self-Reliant Cooperative Act in 1999. The mission is to promote and disseminate and mutual exchange of scientific information of agriculture sciences among the scientific stakeholder. The NADCL primarily established to serve the bridge between agriculture scientists That's an extension worker and also the farmer. You know, to give an information or maybe to disseminate the information, it's conducting so many international conferences, national workshop, national 21 days training courses, and also it conducted so many that other training in collaboration with the State Agriculture University and also with so many other ITR institutes. Maybe that now we are conducting with the Banaras University like that. Till now we conducted more than 12 21 days national training program and also workshop. And this is around 13th one is now we are conducting. Along with that, we conducted around 3 international workshops and one more fourth one we are planning to conduct in the December. That we have done it on so many things in agriculture, agriculture engineering, aquaculture, sericulture, and along with that, both veterinary, and along with that, again, concerned to the veterinary also we are connected in so many the different like pathology, disease diagnosis like that. The telemedicine is covering almost all each and every corner of both agriculture and also veterinary and also horticulture. Now we are happy to be with Banaras University. Definitely we'll continue the same thing in the future. We're looking forward so many training with Banaras Agriculture University also. Thank you. Thank you one and all for giving me an opportunity to say a few words about the NADCL. Now it's time to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Amrish Kumar, the Dean, the College of Agriculture Engineering Technology. That's an Pusa Bihar. Sir has done a BTech from an RAU Pusa and MTech and PhD from in an irrigation and drainage engineering from GP University. Sir served 30 years in case of an assistant professor, associate professor in JB University, and is done 14 years of experience as a principal scientist and also senior scientist in ICR, IISW, Dehradun. Sir has contributed so many times in conservation of an bench terrace, that's a sloping rainfield agriculture and robust flexi dams, HPDE, MBZ check dams like that. He has contributed so many that's an input for that. Along with that, we completed about 15 institutional and university research projects and 10 externally funded projects worth of more than a crore. And we conducted 7 international training programs, 8 training workshops in under PMKSY for both IAS and also IFS officers. And we have 14 advanced training courses that are conducted, and also 131 in-plant training programs organized in so many international national training programs. Is in that thing is organized 110 research paper, 10 books, 12 technical bulletin, and 9 books chapter. And he is an expert member for a peer review team and research advisory committee, and recipient of so many awards. I'll list out only few: Eminent Water Resource Scientist Award, Eminent Agriculture Engineering Award, Fellow of ISCE, Fellow of Institute of Engineering, Fellow of Indian Association for Hydrology, and he is having the 3 patents. That's the work is goes on. We need another 10 to 15 minutes to read out. Now I'll request Dr. Amrish Kumar, the Dean, to address the gathering as a guest of honor. So please.
Thank you, Dr. Manjunath, and nice to see and listen the introduction at this big platform. Most respected Dr. Pritam Chandra ji, he is mentor, teacher since our student life, and still we are learning at every interactions with him, and it is a opportunity for us also to listen Dr. Chandra sir. Dr. D.K. Singh, my friend, Dr. V.K. Chandola, S.C. Goel, and Rai Saab, and all the colleagues, panelists, as well as speakers and participants. When I saw this particular topic, recent advances in agriculture, engineering and technology for doubling farmers' income, of course, when this move or plan is started by Government of India, there were plenty of questions in our mind, particularly. Simple technology and our efforts in terms of research will not give the result in terms of doubling farmers' income. And there is a market, and market intelligence is needed to link properly for doubling a farmer's income. Second, the apprehension, doubling farm income is not one time, ever doubling farm income. At every 5 years, like a fixing in the bank of money, this should be recurring after every 5 years, doubling of the income. That will be a sustainable development and growth of farmer on a social indicators, socio-economic indicators. So all these questions still lying with our mind, but the topic particularly selected and rekindling here to discuss on that particular issues, organizing team from DHU Varanasi and National Agriculture Development Cooperative Limited, Baramulla GMT+5. So I express my thanks and compliments to the team which designed this particularly and gave a opportunity to all we people to discuss on this particular aspects. As for doubling farm income and role of agriculture engineering concerned, this is the most crucial, important, and it is a strong and high opportunity before the agriculture engineers do. So simply, if we think about that particular thought, then there are two things: either reducing the input cost, agriculture input cost, or maximizing the productivity. But that is not true. Maximizing a productivity will not fulfill the particular objective of doubling of farms. If it is demand-based production system, market demand-based production system, then we can say, of course, it will fulfill the aim and objective of this particular flagship program of Government of India. So as far input cost reduction is concerned, of course, agriculture engineers play a big role. Engineers, their main duty is how to make a energy efficient system, how make output efficient system. If output efficient system, it doesn't mean this is in terms of only working and energy. It is also in terms of economics. If we are trying to develop a machine to ease down its working, means in terms of time and money both. So as far the reduction of the agriculture input cost is concerned, mechanization in every aspect of agriculture is required. For an example, you can start with the input of the water. In input water, what is the pumping cost? Everybody very well know the cost of diesel, even electricity in most of the states are rising. In Bihar particularly, if we see some examples, so some interior parts of the area is still not connected with the electricity or single phase electricity. In that case, diesel engine is more assured and diesel pumps are more assured irrigation mechanism in that areas. Even in the area where electricity is available, but there is uncertainty of the power cut and supply. So again, diesel pumps. So water positive concept we initiated at our university level, and this concept is whatever pumping water from the groundwater, trying to recharge it locally, whatever avenues and resources we have. So this concept is, of course, watershed management cannot be suffice the needs or objective if we work on a small piece of land. Groundwater management is always worked on a larger regional scales. But we started here, at least whatever water we are drawing from the groundwater from this campus of 300 hectares, if the same amount we are trying to recharge where natural or artificial way, so at least we can say whatever taken from the groundwater, we have supplied into the groundwater system. If the same mechanism at the government level, at the farmers level, or other cooperative or other systems apply, then we can see the real result or impact of such approach. But any project on a pilot basis, and initiation is always a point initiation, and that will be scaled for a larger area. So the first point. Second, the pumping cost. This is the need to transform our pumping cost from the traditional diesel pumps to the solar pumps. Most of the schemes, government schemes, and uh, at the farmers level, they are also trying for the solar pumps. Solar pumps in various modalities and forms, like solar tree. If we need a pump of more than 5 HP, so certainly we need a number of panels. So solar tree concept, and that way we can fulfill the requirement of 5 HP pump and discharge requirement 10 LPS. So cluster of the 2 hectare, 3 hectare land, we can cater by the solar tree pumping system, and the cost we can minimize. So if we are thinking ever doubling farm income, so there is no any key in our hand to just turn it and get the doubling farmers. Of course, we have to take initiative today, and this will certainly give the revenue a return over the time 3 years and 5 years, and thereafter that will continue acclimatized with the system. So that is the one my key point. The second one, everyone aware about the watershed management, and all these are covering how we can minimize the input cost. So watersheds that also minimize the water need in the area. But of course, we have to think in different way, like watershed net planning. So earlier we were working on the micro watershed, but now we are trying to account for every plot and fields existing in our watershed. Routing of the water from one field to another field in cascading manner. So a record of hydrological footprint of every plot is required to be maintained. That is nothing but a watershed net planning. And in this, earlier, of course, surveying was difficult, satellite data, resolution we need, cost involved. But after invent of particular drones and mapping by the drones, our problem is solved up to up to highest level. And now we can use the mapping using drones, and we can prepare watershed net planning for any watershed. And if we have, so we can account for water budget even for cluster of the fields. And accordingly, we can suggest, according to the climate, what is the need of water. So solar pump in combination with the watershed net pumping planning, of course, it will minimize the costing. And as when I was seeing your particular schedule program, so drone technology is missing somewhere. So you can include that one also, because nowadays the name is required as agriculture drone technology. Government of India, through the Department of Agriculture, provided drone to every KVK, and my university got 6 drones. Likewise, every university got. So how Government of India is pushing drone technology in agriculture through the research, academic, and extension units of the agriculture in the country, we can understand, and it is highly useful. Some entrepreneurship at this college we have established here, and after learning this drone technology, they have got one person from Tal area. You might have heard the Tal area is the big area, around 1 lakh area, that is most of time, particularly in the rainy season, that is flooded one near the Mokama and Patna, um, that part coming in Begusarai, Patna, and Barauni region. And that area is famous for the lentil and gram, chickpea. So that area is still not well connected with electricity. So there we are also pushing through some NGO, solar pump and mapping with the drone technology. And the person who trained from our institution got opportunity by IFCO and TRIPCO more than 600 hectares area for mapping as well as spraying insecticide, pesticide, and nano urea through the drone. This is the scope opportunity for the people who are coming forward to adopt the new technology. And it is also our responsibility for job creation. The third point, bioengineering. The input is bamboo. Bamboo after 2016 by government of India allowed from the forest to the crop areas. Anyone can cut it and use for their purpose. And bamboo is one of the vegetation that grow faster. Everyone knows that one. And some organization coming forward bamboo plantation, particularly in the LCC, land capability classes, having its a grade above 4 or westland or riparian area. So that area is under high threat of erosion that may be controlled by the conservation way of the bamboo plantation, and this will give remuneration to the farmers as well. So bioengineering is also important. In a riparian area, a simple example, a Budi Gandak passing through this campus, RPCU Pusa, its length around 300 kilometers. It started from the Tarai of Nepal, Tarai area foothills, and joining with the river Ganga at Barauni, near Barauni. So around 60,000 area around this river is uncertain cultivation. And this area, simply we provide the water, so they will get the crops like pointed gourd, bottle gourd, round gourd, so other cucurbitaceae, all that crops. So what we did there, the boat mounted solar pump provided few persons, few farmers, and they are taking good irrigation there. So by putting one irrigation, two irrigation, so their crops and productivity getting at par to the average country average, as well as there is a job opportunity of the people. And in the river areas, what are the main problems? Problem is pollution of the river. Secondly, sedimentation of the river. Thirdly, river erosion. And fourth, reducing or zero ecological flow of the streams and river. I am talking about the both river as well as streams. The ecological flow in stream and tributary is a big issue. So by plantation these sites using the bamboo, of course, that is the bioremediation of the water, sediments and other things, we can protect our water from pollution, sedimentation and erosion also. So these will be the benefits if we apply that one. Being a dean of a college of agriculture engineering, certainly my concern with the stakeholder and what is the role of agriculture engineers. So major stakeholders as a dean, first student, second industry and third farmers. Students, how they will serve the agriculture. Without industry, of course, neither farmer nor student will be benefited. So industry, student and farmer linkage important. And these days, FPO is one of the instrumental in the rural area, and I think it is a game changer for this country in coming years. FPO working not only a group of farmers earlier, the way of working, these FPO or FPC, Farmers Producers Company, slowly and slowly moving towards the commercial units, rural commercial units, procuring and collecting the grains, cooperating each other in the production system, and again they are linking with the agri house. The people are industry coming in the rural areas. The Bihar Samastipur district where we are staying, this area is one of the backward we can say. But as far the agri warehouse network is concerned, there is plenty of the agri houses made by the private players like Area Tech, Irgos, NCML, Go Green, and at every panchayat I have seen there is a agri warehouse. So after looking all those benefits, at this college we started one program, PG Diploma in Agri Warehouse, and this program is so catchy. All students got job. The first year, second year got their internship in all these companies. And if comparing from the agriculture engineering, our discipline and a PG Diploma in Agri Warehouse, agri warehouse students get job just after completion of their degree. So what I am saying, these FPO is trying to dovetail with the custom hiring services. The fact of the custom hiring services, Dr. Chandra sir is here, you know better. I will not discuss much on that. So this is the time to dovetailing properly FPO and custom hiring services. Of course, it will be more beneficial for the farming community, and we can suffice the need, and we can also meet the aims and objective of doubling farm income. With this, of course, time is given only 15 minutes, and I took more than 20 or 25 minutes, and so many speakers are here. So with this, again, I am expressing my thanks to the organizer, giving me opportunity to share my ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Ambesh Kumar, sir, for enlightening about importance of engineering in agriculture, where we can double the farmer, especially when you put it on a sustainable and also demand-based agriculture product. If demand is there, then only you're going to get a good income based on that. And we try to include your drone technology to the topics also if possible. We're going to include and we're going to be implemented that one also. Thank you for sparing the time with us and giving a valuable questions for all the participants and organizers. Thank you, sir. Now it's the time to welcome one more guest of honor, Dr. D.K. Singh, the Dean, Mahamaya College of Agriculture, Engineering and Technology, Ambedkar Nawa. Now I'm going to read about a few brief biography of himself. Sir served as a scientist, senior scientist, principal scientist for 25 years on 3 different research institutions. Earlier, he was a professor and head in Department of Irrigation and Drainage Engineering and worked as an optimal crop planning, conjecture use of water, design of irrigation system, irrigation and drip fertigation, and handled more than 20 research projects, more than 95 publications, and delivered the more than 60 lectures. And he is a recipient of some renowned award, the Jawaharlal Nehru Award of an ICR, Jain Irrigation Award of Indian Society of Agriculture Engineering, Fellow of Institute of Engineering, Eminent Scientist Award, Fellow of some other professional body. The biodata is goes on. Now it's time to welcome you, sir. Request you to address our participants and also organizers. Please, DK Singh, sir, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manjunath.
Thank you, sir.
A very good morning to the respected Dr. Pritam Chandra sir, chief guest of today's program. Namaste, sir.
Namaste, namaste, Dr. D.K. Singh.
I am fortunate that I have been a student of Dr. Pritam Chandra at IRI New Delhi, and I also got opportunity to work under his able guidance and learned many things which helped me in my professional growth. Thank you so much for all these things. Dr. Amrish Kumar, Dean, College of Agriculture, Engineering and Technology, Rajendra, Central Agriculture University, Samastipur. Professor V.K. Chandola, Professor R.N. Singh, Professor Nema, Dr. V.K. Tripathi, Dr. J.P. Rai, all the faculty members and participants who are present over here. A very warm good morning to all of you. I thank and congratulate so much to the organizer of this 21 days national workshop on recent advances in agricultural engineering and technology for doubling farmers' income. So I congratulate Department of Farm Engineering BHU and NADCL Baramulla, Jammu and Kashmir. I thank Dr. S.K. Goel, Department of Farm Engineering BHU, Varanasi, for inviting me to be a part of this program as a guest of honor. I feel privileged for this opportunity. Thank you so much, Dr. Goel. I take opportunity to introduce about my college, that is Mahamaya College of Agricultural Engineering and Technology. Sir, it is a constituent college of Acharya Narendra Dev University of Agriculture and Technology, Kumarganj, Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh. We offer 3 degree programs, which is BTech Agricultural Engineering, BTech Computer Science and Engineering, and BTech Mechanical Engineering at this college. And master degree in 5 departments of agricultural engineering: farm, power and machinery, food and process engineering, irrigation and drainage engineering, soil and water conservation engineering, rural engineering is offered. PhD is also offered in 4 disciplines of agricultural engineering: farm, power and machinery, irrigation drainage, soil and water conservation engineering, and food and process engineering. As far as this 21 days workshop is concerned, actually it is recent advances in agriculture, engineering and technology for doubling farmers' income. So farmers' low income has always been a cause of concern for all the sectors: government, professionals, researchers, scientists, and farmers themselves. Therefore, a shift is towards doubling or tripling farmers' income. Actually, more than 50% of workforce is engaged in agriculture and allied sector, and agriculture count about 18.6% of Indian GVA, gross value added, of the country. About 42% of area is sown, and only 141% cropping intensity we have. We have less than 125% in cropping intensity in Jammu and Kashmir, and to the tune of 175% in Punjab, Haryana, Western UP and West Bengal. So there is variation from 175 to less than 125. So on an average 142% cropping intensity. That means we are not harvesting 2 times. We are not harvesting crop even for 2 times in a year. At the same time, our irrigation intensity is also to the tune of 50 to 55%. And irrigation efficiency is also very poor, 40 to 50%. We know that the intervention of irrigation has to increase the crop production. So these are the key factors where we are lacking. A simple formula for enhancing farmers' income is to reduce input cost of cultivation and enhance production per unit area. And thirdly, place good price of the produce and at the same time reduce losses also. The Doubling Farmers Income Committee has given 7 points for doubling farmers' income. One is increasing in crop intensity. By increasing crop intensity, we can reach towards doubling farmers' income. Increase in crop productivity, increase in livestock productivity, resource use efficiency, that is reduction in cost of production, diversification in high value agricultural crops, remunerative price on farmers' produce, and shift of surplus manpower from farm to non-farm occupation. We have low cropping intensity to the tune of 140%. And that means we don't grow even 2 crops in an area. So we have to follow integrated approach in cropping system, that is integrated cropping system, so that many crops and enterprises are in the field throughout the year, so that we can have and generate income from many sources throughout the year from the same field, where we were able to generate income only for 2 times with limited crops. So our agricultural engineering and technologies must suit all the requirement of all the crops, soil, climate, and agricultural activities are enterprises. Agricultural engineering and technology has immense role to play to address issues of doubling farmers' income, towards modernize and rationalize use of input to decrease cost, enhance production, enhance remunerative return, better access to irrigation, more resilient to climate change, adoption of many technologies like drone technology, digital technology at all stages of agriculture value chains, modernization of post-harvest technology and management, infrastructure for dry and cold storage, infrastructure for primary processing center, value-added chain, supply chain, smart and precision farming, organic input production, application of remote sensing, GIS, GPS, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, drone technology, and blending of technologies. Blending of technologies have the answer to all these issues. We have great potential of mechanization. Mechanization has potential of about 15 to 20% input saving of costly seed and fertilizer, which would add productivity of 20% due to timely operation and application of input seeds and fertilizer at appropriate depth and in appropriate quantity at appropriate place. We have mechanization level to the tune of 50%. So there is tremendous scope of improvement in level of mechanization in all the agricultural activities. So it is need of time to improve the level of mechanization and intensify the mechanization in all the operations so that we can take advantage of saving in input and production, increase in production. Sprinkler and micro irrigation has potential for 50% saving of water and fertilizer and increase the yield. So, and augmentation of water is also an important factor because only about 50 to 55% area is irrigated. So here watershed management, water conservation, water harvesting, groundwater recharge, appropriate design of irrigation and drainage system help in augmenting water for use in agriculture as well as enhance the efficiency of water application. Decision and management of precise application of resources or space and time help resource use efficiency and yield. So application of blending of technologies of GIS, remote sensing, artificial intelligence, nano, drone technology, and can be of immense help. And certainly add to contribution towards doubling farmers' income. Appropriate post-harvest technology would reduce produce losses, which are about to the tune of 20%. The processing and value addition give opportunity to fetch higher price of produce. Similarly, application of renewable energy or solar energy, crop residue management, waste management could add in climate smart, eco-friendly agriculture with improved soil health also, because decline in soil health is an important cause of concern for all of us. So I'd like to say that intensification of engineering and technological interventions, whatever technologies we have, so intensification is needed and it would address the issues of doubling the farmers' income. So with these words, I finish my talk. Thank you so much for presence here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. P.K. Singh, sir, Dean Mahamaya College of Agricultural Engineering, for enlightening about how irrigation play a role in the doubling of a farmer, and how that farmer income can be increased by reducing the input and also increasing the quality of the production, and what is the importance of an agricultural engineering. Thank you for enlightening about agricultural engineering in this workshop. Thank you very much, sir. Now it's time to welcome our today's chief guest, Preetham Chandra sir, is the ex-director, ICR, Central Institute of Agricultural Engineering, Bhopal, MP. I read about brief biodata of an sir. Sir, as an ex-director, already told ICR, CAE, has done a PhD from USA and Mastering from Canada, and bachelor degree from GMT+5 Agriculture University. Sir is received in case of UG itself the Vice Chancellor Gold Medal Award, and is the first recipient of International Tractor Scholarship, and he is a teacher, researcher, research manager. He is a former former ADG, and he has worked about so many things, and he is the person behind about the greenhouse technology implementation in India. And he was instrumental in planning and execution of a post-harvest process in India, and he served as a various committee, especially Planning Commission, Minister of Food Processing Industry, Food Education Council like a DSC, FSS, QC, like that. So many things are there. He has published more than 270 publications. He received several awards, both national and international awards, especially Rafi Ahmad Kidwai Award, and he fellow of NAAS, fellow of Institute of Engineering, fellow of Indian Society of Agricultural Engineering. The Banaras goes on. Now I'll request our today's chief guest, Dr. Preetham Chandra sir, to address our participants and organizing members. Thank you, sir. Please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manjunath. Am I audible?
Yeah,
sir.
sir. Audible and video also clear, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
My friends, Dr. Ambrish Kumar, Dr. D.K. Singh, Dr. S.K. Goyal, Dr. Chandola. I'm really grateful today to be with you in this inaugural program. Let me thank the Zoom technology also, which has brought all of us together. In earlier times, prior to 2019, we had to be physically present to be able to address gatherings, learn from others. But today, no matter where you are in the globe, you can be together through the information technology. And similarly, a lot of these technologies have changed the face of agriculture, agricultural engineering. The priorities are also changing. Let me take you back to 1969 when I joined agricultural engineering as a student in Pantnagar. Now, I wanted to be different from agriculture and engineering. And there was an option available as agricultural engineering. When I went to Pantnagar, people told me that there are no jobs in agricultural engineering. There is nothing like PWD, CPWD, or UP Electricity Board to absorb you after you graduate. Well, it was a bit discouraging, but not totally out of place. I said, well, things do change with time. And I don't think by the time I graduate and come into job market, there would be such a scarcity. And true, things have been changing. When I was a student, the only possibilities were teaching and little bit of research, not many jobs in the industries. Yes, Escorts, International Tractor Company, they were there, so they would absorb a few agricultural engineers in their marketing department. And as we have all seen, today agricultural engineering is sought from all quarters of agriculture. Although I say that most of the agricultural engineers are working only in the crops area. We have recently graduated to work in horticulture because those people are demanding engineering inputs more and more by virtue of precision farming and protected agriculture. But our role is still minimal in livestock sector, in fisheries sector. There are new emerging areas like microbial cultivation, insect cultivation, because we can derive certain products, certain advantages from these cultivations. I'm very happy that PHU decided to host this national workshop, and I hope that such an activity continues to be replicated in other universities, in other parts of the country. And this is not only educative to the students and the faculty, but also it gives us chance for cross-learning. Selection of important research topics, and then taking the technology to the field. We should not be satisfied with being only a teacher or only a researcher. A teacher cannot be a successful teacher unless he or she is a researcher. And only teaching and research is not going to give you satisfaction unless the technology which you are working on really is accepted by the stakeholders. The concept of doubling the farmer's income is very appropriate. In fact, we as agricultural engineers have been doing it for several decades, whether by way of reducing the cost of cultivation through mechanization or precision agriculture. Secondly, by promoting agro-processing in production catchments. Production catchments, because we want some more jobs for farmers. Today, farmers are not really utilizing their full time by only being engaged in production activities. The land holdings are small. Their mechanization base is poor. So in a year, a farmer is able to keep himself or herself busy only for, say, 100 to 150 days. What does the farmer do during the remaining part of the year? Really not much, except getting their children married and repair of the household, and then playing cards, gossiping, getting involved in antisocial activities. And therefore, it's very important that we find, or at least convince these farmers to take up something more than just production of crops. And that's where we need to promote models which can increase their income multifold, keep themselves busy with production activities, processing activities, and thereby lead a very contented and happy life. So initially the mechanization was there, but unfortunately it was not being picked up. Why it was not being picked up? I learned this hard way when I joined ICAR in 2003. And I started talking to my colleagues, other ADGs and economists, that why, when we are having such wonderful machinery, not getting adopted. And they said, Pritam, it is not because the machinery is not good, but it is because the labor is cheap. I mean, they can appreciate that, yes, your seed drill is good and your harvester is good, but because the cheap labor is there, they will employ the labor and get the job done at lower cost. And then in 2006, the Manrega came, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, and that changed the scenario. The labor from Punjab, Haryana went back to Bihar and wherever they came from. So there was suddenly an emergency to deploy machinery to get the jobs done, whether it is paddy transplanting or it's harvesting or it's any other job. And a lot of machinery was imported almost overnight from China. And then our agricultural engineers also became busier. So this was one opportunity. Then simultaneously we talked about post-harvest losses and the need to reduce these losses, because all these losses contributed to the lower income of the farmers. So not only we got first-hand nationwide assessment of post-harvest losses, which our policy planners really wanted. But at the same time, we also learned that where the opportunities existed to reduce these losses and hence increase the income of the farmers. So mechanization plus post-harvest processing together gave us enough opportunity to increase the farmers' income. And I was working at that time for the development of protected cultivation. And the experiences from protected cultivation very clearly indicated that the income of the farmers could be not only doubled, but tripled, quadrupled, depending upon the interest the farmer took and the activity that farmers undertook with the greenhouses, with the plastics mulching and all of those, drip irrigation. So,
Yes, sir. Very good idea, sir.
yeah. And so, say it again. Any problem?
Nothing, sir. Nothing. Carry on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
So now, with protected cultivation, if you took nursery raising in a greenhouse, your income or your expenditure would get complete return in 3 months' time. And I'll give you an example. If you took floriculture, very remunerative. And now recently I have seen that even vegetable cultivation in greenhouses has become very profitable. I'll give you an example. Dr. D.P. Singh, who was the Vice Chancellor of Pantnagar when I was a student, after retirement, he was looking after some farms belonging to his relatives. And one day he came to my office in IRI, and naturally I was very pleased and scared to see the Vice Chancellor at my door, at the door of my office. And he said, Pritam, I have learned that you are working on something like greenhouse technology, which promises good returns. Here is the checkbook. And why don't you build a greenhouse at my farm to show me that how good it is? So, well, of course, he said that if you are convinced, only then take it up the job. Well, there was no question of not being convinced because we had been working on it. And I said, no, I don't need a checkbook. This is the bill of materials which I want. And here is my technician who would do the job. So immediately he got the material purchased. First greenhouse put up on his farm. And then he put papaya seedlings in it. So he had a variety of papaya which he wanted to grow. And so he raised the seedlings in the greenhouse during winter months. It was, I think, December, January. And he came back after 2 months to me. Pritam, I have already recovered my investment. And he explained how. He raised 5,000 plants of papaya from the seed, and each plant was sold for 5 rupees. 5,000 multiplied by 5, he got back 25,000, and the investment on the greenhouse was 22,000. So that's how the seedling raising became an extremely remunerative activity in the greenhouse. Similarly, raising early seedlings and then transplanting them in the field gave earliness of the production, which gave benefit to the farmers. And similarly, in other crops, floriculture, etc., there are a lot of success examples which convince people that yes, it is possible to raise very good income from even small land holdings. And in those times, I used to say that even 500 square meter greenhouse is sufficient to sustain a family of farmers completely. And let me tell you, even today I'm convinced that 0.1 hectare under greenhouses can give you 10 to 12 lakhs per annum net income. Earlier in this year, I had a chance to visit Rajasthan. And there I met a cluster of farmers where they had naturally ventilated greenhouses and they were growing cucumbers. They were pooling the produce in the evening, taking it to Jaipur market and selling it early in the morning. The boys who were taking the produce in the evening were coming back and sharing the money that they received from the market. And I was told that each farmer was earning about 10 to 12 lakhs rupees per acre per annum. So doubling the farmer's income is not really such a big or such a difficult task. Only thing is we have to put together the right basket of technologies for the farmer or the FPO and then demonstrate, have handholding of the group. And then once it is all done with proper management, it's not difficult. But the problem is that we ourselves are not convinced. Let me tell you. I have an example in my mind. We took a paddy thresher, manually operated paddy thresher, to a rural setting where farmers were using, or the in fact ladies of the farmers' families, they were doing the threshing by their feet, and the feet were getting injured. And so we thought that let us demonstrate this all-pad thresher to these ladies here. Then one of my senior colleagues said, no, let us not do this. There may be a failure. And so I said, well, unless we know how the failure takes place, we won't be able to correct it. So we decided to use the thresher and found that it was really doing a good job. The ladies were very happy that their feet will not get injured anymore. And so that's how, unless we ourselves are convinced, we won't be forthcoming to the farmers, the FPOs to take up the jobs. So now what I suggest that each one of us, faculty members and the trainees, they must make up in their minds that yes, we'll go out, but before going out, we'll put together this basket of technologies together and convince ourselves that yes, it will do the right, it will give the right benefits to the farmers, and then convince the farmers or the FPO to try it, and then show that yes, the doubling of the farmers' income is not at all difficult. In fact, the Division of Agricultural Engineering Council, ICR, I think they're putting together several such examples in the form of a bulletin or a book to convince that yes, these technologies have been tried out and we have achieved success. Let others also join. Today, we can also make videos, very effective videos, to show to the potential farmers, progressive farmers, that it is doable. You already know that farmers' children are no more interested in farming, and rightly so. When everybody in the society is enjoying, why should they be toiling in the field? And ruining their life. There's so much of uncertainty because of the natural vagaries. So they are right, unless we give them the proper technological backup, the farmers' children will not be getting into farming. In fact, it should be such a proposition that even the educated, the well-established people from other disciplines, they come and say, okay, let's do agriculture. And you might have seen some of the IT people, some of the people from electronics, they are coming back to agriculture and saying that we want to make it successful. We want to make it profitable. And it is possible. So each one of you should get into it, should go ahead in the field with the help of KVKs, with the help of other um, sources, and then demonstrate. Once you are able to successfully demonstrate your role in the area of crops, I'm sure the people from livestock sector and fisheries sector would also come to you to help them. Because as far as the science is concerned, the incremental benefit of the scientific improvements is not as much as we can obtain by introduction of engineering inputs, whether it's through, as I said, mechanization, or through agro-processing, or precision farming, or any other interventions like drones and robotics. For example, harvesting of coconuts from the coconut tree. I'm sure the robotics would do a good job. Robotics combined with drones can really uh, take care of all the drudgery involved in the harvesting of coconuts. Similarly, there are a lot of problems. There are hundreds of such situations where engineers can get involved. After all, engineers are for problem solving. And all these problems can be tackled. If there is no other technology, at least we can improve upon the existing technologies, what is called uh, improvising them, or bring the engineering inputs from wherever they are available. And every day things are happening. Today we have the technology of manufactured meat. Impossible burger you might have come across. We don't have to kill animals to get meat-like food. We can get the same taste and nutrition from plant sources. And that is what is called manufactured meat. In simple terms, you have uh, soya chop, or soya bari. But then we can also talk of manufactured food. Why should we be growing crops to harvest food and reject the other remaining biomass? So then it would be much more economical. Economical it may not be in the beginning, but it will definitely be resource conserving. We will not be wasting the input resources, natural resources. So the canvas of technologies will be continually changing. We will be having access to newer and newer technologies from other disciplines. It's the job of agricultural engineers to ensure that we keep solving the problems of food production, processing, value addition. I'm sure you might have heard about circular economy. So far, we have been working in the domain of linear economy, where we have an input, we process it and add value to it, and then reject the remaining biomass as pollutant. And so that's how the pollution in the world has been increasing, raising greenhouse gases and causing climate change. But we can now move away from this kind of situation, get into a circular economy where the raw materials are processed, the byproducts are again utilized through another process, and we have further value-added products, and likewise, ultimately utilizing all the biomass that was produced. And the world is now moving in that direction. We cannot afford to throw anything in the atmosphere or in the environment to cause unsustainability and greenhouse gases. So circular economy is going to be the guiding principle in the next few years. And in fact, I've already started talking to my colleagues, and today I'm doing it with you, that let us keep circular economy in the consideration, and that should be the basis for our technological interventions in future. Then newer problems are going to come. The population is increasing, and the land available for cultivation is decreasing. Now, if we have to have more food to feed the increased population, so how do we do it? We might have to move away from land and have production, food production in areas away from land, whether it is sea or it is ocean floor or it is high in the mountains, going even underground, or getting into multi-tiered production facility, what we call vertical farming. Or even for our space missions. Today, Chandrayaan has landed on Moon. Tomorrow we would be sending our astronauts to Moon or to other planets. There would be space tourism. So we would like to be prepared for food production in the space. For example, if we send our astronauts to Mars, it would take not less than 6 months to reach from Earth to Mars. Now, we cannot take so much of payload for food from the Earth. We would rather like to produce food in flight, and we should be having appropriate technology to do that. Under low gravity, in a very closed circuit, we should be able to produce food. So newer challenges would be coming. Newer technologies would be also developed. We should be there with our understanding of the concepts to utilize the technologies to provide solutions to all forms of agriculture. And doubling is only a short-term measure. We would like to make agriculture as profitable as possible so that it becomes the chosen profession of many. Now, tomorrow, we won't have so many farmers in the field. Today, we have almost 45 to 50% the labor force engaged in agriculture. By 2047, or by the end of the Samrit Kal, I feel that not more than 25% of the workforce in India will be involved in agriculture. And therefore, farming would be quite different from what it is today. It may be a part-time job for many, because once you have the robots and other helping hands with you, you could give the commands and get busy with something else, and robots and these automatic or these machineries will take care of your jobs throughout the day. So let me come to the conclusion of my talk, because I think I've already taken quite a bit of time. One thing that my association with the BHU is quite old. My uncle, he got, he graduated in chemical engineering way back in 58. So I have been hearing the name of BHU for a very long time. Of course, it is only during the last 20 years that I have been coming to BHU more frequently. And so today, when I am with you as a participant in this national workshop, I'm very happy and look forward to continued progress. I think BHU is a wonderful place to have an undergraduate program in agricultural engineering, because you have both the faculties, agriculture and engineering. And on the foundation of these two faculties, agricultural engineering students who get or who graduate from BHU would be the best one. Although I do feel sorry that some of the engineering colleges or where we are producing agricultural engineers, even IIT Kharagpur, they don't have the background of agriculture as much as we would like our undergraduates to have. Similarly, some of the agricultural engineering colleges don't have the support of engineering faculty as much as they would like to have. So, for that matter, BHU is an excellent location for having agricultural engineering program. For example, you have sufficient inputs from farm mechanization, from precision agriculture, soil and water conservation, processing in your course. Tomorrow, when somebody else organizes with the same theme, would also probably have urban agriculture, the bio engineering, and biochemical engineering. So these new areas would also get addressed in the future national workshops. I think now I can close this by giving an example of US agriculture. You might have come across this information. In 1905, almost 40% of the US population was engaged in agriculture. But then things started happening. World War I came, lot of other war-related, defense-related industries came up. A lot of patenting was there in the area of pharmaceuticals and other domains. And you know it today, only 2%, less than 2% people are involved in agriculture in US. Not that productivity or the production has gone down.
I think we lost the audio, sir. Can everybody hear me? Go ahead, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
we're not hearing you, please.
I think there is some connectivity issue from Chandra
Right,
sir.
otherwise we'll continue for a lot of time.
So what should do, sir?
Can you please
Uh,
call
You
him
can,
to rejoin?
conclude.
He has not.
Now
Okay,
it is
if
coming.
someone-
Now it is coming, please.
He has not finished his talk. Can someone please call him? That he lost his connection. He might not be aware of it.
I am calling.
Okay.
I am calling. Please give me 2 minutes.
Okay, please come.
Sir will be joining within a minute.
No, sir, no issue.
So actually, I have another meeting. So I am quitting, and again we can join somehow.
No issue, sir. No issue. Please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Thank you very much for the
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much
thing
for
that is
being
done,
here.
sir. Sir, your voice is not coming. You have muted yourself, sir. Please
Yeah,
unmute.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah, sir, please
Yes,
continue.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
You
now
audible.
I wanted to complete that example of US agriculture. The National Academy of Agricultural National Academy of Engineers in the US, they conducted a survey at the conclusion of the 20th century that what were the 20 engineering interventions in the US which changed the face of the United States society. And one of the 20 interventions was farm mechanization. How it happened, out of those 40% labor force which was engaged in agriculture in 1905, people started moving to cities, to the industries, because a lot of industrial revolution was taking place. There are not many people available for carrying out agriculture in the US. And therefore, the agricultural development in the United States was essentially engineering driven. The power requirement was met through tractors, other power sources. The genetics, the soil science, the agronomy, those inputs came much later. So at the end of the 20th century, they said the food productivity, which rose during the past century by almost 50 times, only 20% of that contribution came from the sciences, agricultural sciences, and remaining was through engineering inputs. In our country, it has been a different story. We didn't have the engineering inputs by that time, and the initiative was taken by plant breeders and other agricultural scientists. And only recently, when there was so-called plateauing of the factor productivity, that engineering inputs came into utilization. And that too after the Manrega came into existence. So anyway, better late than never, engineers are in demand for different kinds of problem solving in agriculture. We should take that challenge, put up effective demonstrations, show them, including the farmers, that yes, solutions are there agriculture can be made profitable, and these are the models available. I'm talking to my friends in the ICR also to put up such a collection of examples for people in the field to emulate, whether they are KVKs or they are FPOs or any other. And that we would have entrepreneurs also, successful entrepreneurs in this area. So let me conclude by saying that thank you very much, organizers, for associating me with your program. It has been wonderful meeting Dr. Ashwini Kumar, Amrish Kumar and Dr. D.K. Singh, Dr. R.M. Singh, S.K. Goel, Dr. Chandola, and I wish all the participants wonderful hearing the lectures, internalizing them, and making use of them. They should also create a chain reaction by offering such workshops to other participants in their respective institutions. So thank you very much and wish you all the best. Let me take this opportunity to inaugurate the national workshop. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Namaste,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For elaborative
Thank you very
input
much.
about importance of agriculture engineering and importance of mechanization inputs in case of agriculture, and how we can explore and motivate the farmer by using giving an example. You have elaborated so many examples. Thank you very much for your valuable time discussing your experience and everything. It's a very good opportunity for the participant to listen the words from you. Thank you very much. Now is the time for a vote of thanks. Now I request Dr. J.P. Rao, Associate Professor, Department of Plant Pathology, Institute of Agriculture Science, BHU, Varanasi, as a Course Director to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Rao, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Manjunatha. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, I take this opportunity to express my deep sense of honor and gratitude to our revered chief guest, Dr. Pritam Chandraji, ex-director, ICR Central Institute of Agricultural Engineering, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, who, despite his busy schedule, agreed to bless the occasion and guide us through his valuable experience. His speech has truly been inspiring, I assure you, sir, to meet your expectations from the workshop. I would like to extend our sincere thanks to our guests of honor, Dr. Amrish Kumar, Dean, College of Agriculture, Engineering and Technology, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Central Agricultural University, Pusa, Bihar, and Dr. D.K. Singh, Dean, Mahamaya College of Agricultural Engineering and Technology, Ambedkar Nagar, Acharya Narendra Dev University of Agriculture and Technology, Kumarganj, Ayodhya, for gracing our event with their presence. Your kind words and insights have truly inspiring, and we are all grateful for the opportunity to learn from you. Our sincere thanks are also due to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Banaras Hindu University, and the Director, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU, for patronizing the event. Our sincere thanks and gratitude are also due to the patron of the workshop, Professor V.K. Chandola, Professor and Head, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU, for his guidance in helping us sail through the difficulties of organizing such an event of national significance. We also extend our gratitude to him for his untiring efforts to make this dream come true for all of us. This can easily be exemplified by his presence here, even in the event of an urgency to travel to Dehradun. We wish his journey to be happy and meaningful. I am thankful to the organizing chairman. He is here, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU, Varanasi. Organizing Director, Dr. A.K. Nema, sir, Professor, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU, Varanasi. Conveners of the workshop, Dr. Shriram Singh sir, Professor and Head, KVK Institute of Agricultural Sciences, Banaras Hindu University, Rajiv Gandhi South Campus, Barkacha Mirzapur. Dr. Kalyan Ghadai, Professor and Head, Department of Extension Education, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. Dr. Virendra Kamarvanshi, Associate Professor, Department of Agricultural Economics, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. I extend my sincere thanks to our co-conveners, Dr. Abhishek Singh, Associate Professor, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. Dr. R.S. Meena Sahab, Assistant Professor, Department of Agronomy, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. Dr. Muzaffar Hassan, Scientist, Center of Excellence on Soybean Processing and Utilization, ICR, CIAE, Bhopal. Dr. Mudassir Ali, Assistant Professor and Head, Division of REE, College of Agricultural Engineering and Technology, SKUAST, Kashmir, Shalimar, Srinagar. Dr. Muhammad Muzammil, Assistant Professor, Division of Farm Machinery and Power Engineering, College of Agricultural Engineering and Technology, SKUAST, Kashmir, Shalimar, Srinagar. I am equally thankful to our course directors, Dr. S.K. Goyal, our co-course directors, Dr. V.K. Paswan, Department of Dairy Science and Food Technology, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. Dr. D.S. Bunkar, Department of Dairy Science and Food Technology, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. He has been here. Dr. V.K. Tripathi, he is a Tripathi sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU. Assistant Professor, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. Our joint course coordinators, Dr. Rajan Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. Dr. Shashi Shekhar, Assistant Professor, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. And Dr. Rima Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Farm Engineering, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, BHU Varanasi. We would also like to thank our collaborators, especially the workshop coordinator, Dr. R.A. Shah Saab, from NADCL, who came forward with such an excellent idea to be of service to the academia, students, and not only to the discipline of farm engineering, but also to the end user of the agriculture, that is our farmers, who toil hard to feed the mankind. We are also thankful to NADCL as an organization, Dr. Manjunatha, Head Department of Veterinary Clinical Complex, VCC, Veterinary College, Vidyanagar, Hassan, Karnataka, Veterinary and Animal Fisheries Sciences University, KVFSU, Bidar, Karnataka, and Dr. Hamida Khanam for their generous support and handling of the session to make it a success. Without your help, this event would not have been possible. I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Goyal once again, who came up with this idea and tailored the workshop in the form of a series of events to fulfill the needs of our participants and fill the gap of knowledge. Finally, I would like to thank our participants for their support, which we will need throughout the workshop period for its success in achieving the objectives and goals. I'm sure your efforts will make this event a grand success. Thank you once again to one and again everyone for making this event a memorable one. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
J.P. Rai.
Namaskar.
Now officially we'll end the program. Again at 2:30 we're going to start on our first class with Dr. R.T. Patil sir, the former director ICR Central Institute of Post Harvest Engineering and Technology, Ludhiana, Punjab. All the participants are requested to join at 2:30 sharp for the class. And thank each and everyone for being a part of an inaugural program. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, Chandra sir. Thank you, Manjunath sir. Thank you. Anand Singh sir, thank you. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now we can leave the session and join back at 2:15.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.